Hey traders, it's Sunday evening. I'm trying to do my research, trying to find some trades for Monday morning. Let's take a look at the market. Let's see what we can find. We've got a downward sloping trend line on the S&P 500. Relatively heavy selling pressure. We hadn't been below the 100-day moving average in almost a year, and here we are testing it again. Now, going into year end, asset managers know that they're typically looking for a year end rally. They want to be long. They're trying to time this dip. So you can see here how we have a double bottom, not a higher low, but a double bottom. So you come down, you test that support. Now you come down, you test it again, and you get this nice green candle in here. And we know every time that support has been tested with a monster rally. Let's zoom out and take a look at the rally this year. Look at how strong that is. Go into the weekly chart. That shows you how the market has been absolutely lifting off. Very, very difficult market to short when the Fed is printing money like mad and bond yields are not keeping pace with inflation. They're generating negative real returns. What are you going to do with your money? Stocks are the only alternative, right? Well, stock valuations haven't been this high since the tech bubble, the year 2000. So not going to be very easy sledding the rest of the way. So the market could go either way, in my opinion. Is this going to be a go-go rally mode? Well, every time that the market has tested support, we get these big bounces. Few days of selling, big bounce, few days of selling, big bounce. I still think that this force is in play because there's so much dang money sloshing around with all this money printing. It's going to find its way into the market. Now you have a double bottom and a chance for another rally off of that low. The futures as we speak are up about 15 points overnight. And we can see that when we get these green bars off of a sell-off, green bar. Sell off, green bar, next bar is green, next bar is green, next bar is green, next bar is green. I think you get the message. Get the sell off, green bar, next bar is green. In fact, most of these green bars here are a gap and go formation. What does that mean? That means that the market, if it opens higher tomorrow, there's a possibility that we could see a nice rally that lasts the entire day. We've got to be a little bit careful of a gap reversal. If we're going to see a gap reversal, it will happen in the first half an hour. And the type of formation that you'd be looking for on a gap reversal is long red candles stacked. Let's go back this week. We should be able to find one pretty easily. If you come in and you're tempted to buy this nice rally Monday morning and you see this formation, you should put your wallet back in your pocket because we're going lower. This is what I'm talking about, except this wasn't a gap reversal. What you would see is just pretend that the market closed here. You get this nice gap up, and then you start seeing long red bodies on these candles consecutively, just like that. This would be a gap reversal tomorrow. If you see that type of price action off of that gap up, stay away. It means that you'll be able to get in much better and that the rally Friday and the rally Monday morning on the open may simply be a head fake. So what we want to be looking for is a gap higher where the market is able to compress, it's able to hold the gains, and then it eventually starts grinding higher. That would be a gap and go formation on the upside like this. You can see there's your closing price, there's your gap up, long green candles stacked. This is the pattern that we want to be watching for a gap and go. Once you get this, you got your entry. So in the first half hour, you can see how there were really nice gains throughout the course of the day. Yes, we gave back some of those gains late, but this is off of a higher level this day. The one that we'll be looking at tomorrow is off of a lower level because the market had sold off to that 100-day moving average, and we saw that the market was able to close above it. So look for a long green candle and a gap higher and a possible gap and go with those long green candles stacked. If you see that, we could ride up to that downward sloping trend line. So I'm fairly bullish only because the market has been so dang resilient the whole year that I'm thinking, okay, we tested the downside. Market was able to rebound nicely Friday. Let's see if we can build on that. They'll try and rally it tomorrow, Monday, perhaps even close on the high, then the next challenge will be, can we get through that downward sloping trend line on Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't know. I'm only looking for a trade for Monday. When Monday is done, I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to move on. I'll evaluate the price action, and then I'm going to make another selection on Tuesday. If I start to see that there is support forming here, long green candle, gap and go, closing on its high, gap up, long green candle, able to hold the downward sloping trend line, challenge the 50-day moving average. If I see a couple of long candles in here, it's going to start turning me pretty bullish, especially if we can clear that downward sloping trend line and the 50-day moving average. I'm going to be feeling pretty good that the market has probed for support, tested for support. Asset managers are watching this price action. They'll be willing to embrace the rally. Now, a massive rally that's taken place over the course of the last 12 years and the last 16 months, it dies very hard. Oftentimes, when you see these big run-ups, the market will eventually start to see some sustained selling, and then it'll start to waffle around, make some lower highs, start to get a little bit more range bound, and then eventually the market will go into a sideways trading range. That's how oftentimes these big rallies end. And we've had 7 consecutive months of gains. S&P 500 has only seen that 3 previous times in the last 25 years. So this is a fairly rare occurrence that we see this type of market strength. Now, September closed lower, so that consecutive streak was broken. So in the back of my mind, I still don't know long term what the market's going to do. I just know that there's a propensity for the market to lean on these lows, lean on these major moving averages, and to look for opportunities to buy these dips. So I think tomorrow we're going to see a gap higher. We may compress for the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then we start to move higher. If we open and you see those long green candles stacked, you got to get aggressive. You have to do something I call buying dumb. Get in to the position, hold the position, and of course you'd be wanting to use your 100-day moving average right here as a stop. So that's how I see the market unfolding. Now I just got to find some stocks that I'd like to trade. So I ran a pretty basic search, and of course I'm going to show you some trades that I like for Monday, and I'll even give you my best pick. So a search that I ran was I'm looking for strength on a daily basis, on a 4-hour basis, and on a 2-hour basis. I'm also looking for a stock on a daily basis that has very strong upward momentum. That can be measured by ADX. So on a daily basis, the stock's got good momentum. The stock was through the prior day's high on Friday. That's a very easy criteria to meet. And it has good option liquidity. Before I go any further, when you run these searches, it's important to think about what is it exactly that I'm looking for here? What would a stock that has a very strong upward momentum on a daily basis, what would that look like and why would I care? Well, you would care because what has the market done recently? It's been falling like mad. So I'm looking for that relative strength on a longer term basis, and I'm looking for that upward momentum. Some days, let's say Thursday, when you had this long red bar closing on its low, your search might be as simple as coming in and marking strong relative to the S&P 500 on a daily basis, stock above the prior day's high, good option liquidity, and you can even add heavy volume today for good measure. Very simple, basic search. And if you think about it, what stock on a bloodbath 100-point S&P drop like that was up? Show me that stock that was up above the prior day's high when you get one of these long red candles. Chances are that stock wants to move higher because buyers were undeterred by all the market selling during a day like that. That's the tell. That's how you find these stocks. So let's take a look at these candidates. I'm going to get this custom search off screen, but these are the symbols that I'm going to be clicking through. You're going to see some really nice stocks. So I'm going to go into the first one, AMTX, very nice, very strong upward momentum through horizontal resistance. Let's put the 1 OSI indicator up. Orange line above 0 indicates strength relative to the market For some of you, you may want to just do an S&P 500 overlay, and this tells the tale. Market in the gray line here, down, 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 big time. What has this stock done? Look at it shoot higher on heavy volume. Yeah, I like AMTX. I think this stock could go higher. APRN, look at that. I really like this one too. Long green candle stacked. Look at this sell-off in the market right here. Stock undeterred. You could see the massive buying that came in right there. Even with the market free falling, it gives up half of that green candle, which is fine. Find support. Off to the races while the market continues to come in on Friday. As soon as the market finds support, see you later. Yeah, I like that stock a lot. APRN. All of these stocks that I'm going to show you, please make a list. These are the stocks you want to watch tomorrow. Friday, I showed you a stock, CAR, was my pick of the day. There's your flagpole, downward sloping trend line, bullish flag formation. This stock will continue to move higher. You can see there's the market, there's the stock. Beautiful. Continue to click through. CDEV looks pretty nice above the major moving averages, continuing to go high. Caesars, CZR, also very, very strong. Getting through this high right here. I like that. IGT, a little bit too far out of the gate, but look at these long green candles stacked, and it's through that horizontal resistance right there. This stock wants to go higher. IGT. ISEE. You can see this big gap up right here. This company had some good news because there are 4 green candles stacked. Well, that's what the market's done, is sold off that much. What has the stock done? If this were just a head fake rally right in here, sellers would be coming in, especially with the market starting to soften, and they would pound, 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 pound that stake down because this would just be fluff. But that's not the case. They saw the news, they read the news, they knew that this was a gorgeous buy no matter what the market was doing. They wanted in this stock. So they bought it up. Now you've got some heavy pressure and you have some price consolidation because these are big gains. The stock has basically doubled in price from $7 to $15. So you're going to get a little time where the stock moves sideways, the gains are digested, but look, the stock is continuing to push higher and it's reclaimed half of that long red candle. ISEE is definitely a stock that you want to be watching come next week. And we'll continue to go down the list. LAUR looks good, compressing, consolidating, able to hold these gains in here. Not a lot of upward movement though, so not overly impressed with that. PAYX, downward sloping trend line. Earnings right there. You can see how the reaction was excellent above the 50-day moving average, continuing to build today. That's a nice trend line breakout on heavy volume. PBF. There's another one. There's your bullish flagpole, downward sloping trend line. This stock wants to go higher. Look at how much the market's moved down, and this stock has been able to move higher. That is the key. That's the tell for us. This is really nice. SD, another energy company. Energy stocks have been hot. Nice long green candle in there. There's your downtrend line, another bullish flag. So out of these picks, and I'm not going to double dip on CAR, so I've got to pick another one. I really like this APRN. Let's take a look at the daily price action to see how choppy this is. So it had a nice grind higher yesterday. Go into the 15-minute chart just to get a feel for how it moves. You can see it's got dips through the course of the day. When you see these, and these are substantial, it tells you I don't have to be chasing and I don't have to be buying the breakout. If I'm patient, I'll be able to wait for a dip like this and find a better entry point. So be patient. I like APRN. That may be my pick of the day. Just click through a couple others. I like that ISEE too. That stock to me looks like it wants to continue to go higher as well. So those are two that I would be keeping an eye on. If I had to make a pick, I would probably say APRN is going to be your pick of the day. It's a relatively cheap stock. It's an $8 stock, so there's no need to trade options on it. You can trade shares of the underlying stock. Let's go back to the market because I want to remind you of one very important element. Market first, Market first, market first. If I'm anxious to buy APRN and I come in Monday morning, what do I want to make sure does not happen? Well, first of all, I want to make sure that the market's not running higher and the stock pulling back hard. That would obviously be bad. But for the S&P 500, I want to make sure that I do not have those long red candles stacked like that after the gap higher. So the market gaps higher. I don't want to see that. I don't want to have anything to do with that in the first half hour. What I do want to see is either a pause in the market a little bit and then a tick, tick, tick higher. That would be fine. No problem with that. That would be a gap and go formation. Or I want to see the market open and then long green candles stacked one on top of the other for the first half an hour. That's a big gap and go formation. That is a very bullish formation. If I'm trading APPN and it's been relatively quiet, I'll know that I need to step up and probably be a little bit more aggressive with that trade, not wait for the dip, but kind of try and at least take a partial position that with the intention of adding to it. And there you can see on Friday when the market tested the low, it came in, and then once it found support, it rallied very nicely. So be patient with these trades. There's no reason to force a trade. I think the market is likely to go higher for the next couple of days, but we've seen heavy selling pressure, so there's no need to take longer term swing positions until we are sure that we're able to get through this downward sloping trend line. That's step number one. This is where you can start aggressively adding if we're able to close above it in a couple of days. Then that 50-day moving average is the next resistance level. So stay fluid, keep your trades short term, run some basic searches like the one that I just showed you, focus on stocks with heavy volume, relative strength, and you're going to be in good shape. So even if you get the market wrong, if you're in the right stocks, there's a good chance that you'll be able to keep your losses to a very, very small amount because the stocks are holding up well. So that's really got to be a focal point. You also know that stocks that have decent upward momentum in the course of the last week have lots of buyers lined up. Thanks so much. Good luck with your trading Monday. We'll see you then. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.